Hello my friends, and welcome to the Drunken Celts gaming channel with me, Baltic. Now today we're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed, an iconic franchise with an identity crisis. And more to the point, where did it all go wrong? What has happened to the game that came out first in, I think it was November 2007? When that was first announced and actually shown for the first time, the trailers and that, the buzz around it was epic. Now, not only because it was one of the first games to be set back in the Crusades, it was one of the first games for the new consoles, the 360 and the PlayStation 3 at the time. And it really just, although being very rough around the edges, which most kind of early titles for new consoles are, it definitely carved out its own space in the market. There was so many things in that game that were new at the time. I'm sure everybody will remember, if they played it, the first time they climbed a tower and synchronised with your ego. The fucking towers in this game. Now that is one thing we'll get into later on. But back then, it was really amazing. And it had so much going for it, a character, a really good story that was, yeah, a bit confusing, but it really kept you going through the whole game. And there was one thing it didn't have as well, which was its own fucking currency that you could buy packs for, but we'll get into that later as well. So the first one came out and it was actually quite a big success for the time. And as I say, set back in the ages of the Third Crusade. And it did well enough to spawn a sequel, which was Assassin's Creed 2. And that was set in the Italian Renaissance. And it had introduced us all to Ezio. Now this is where the story of Assassin's Creed games got really good. For the whole, every one of the Ezio games I think had a decent story, but 2 for me was probably the highlight of his trilogy. Very first time we've seen him, although Brotherhood maybe a close second. But so we had Assassin's Creed 2, and that basically expanded on all the mechanics of the first one, just gave you more and a bit extra. And again, new setting, it was brilliant. They really refined some of the mechanics down. Of course, they went on to building that with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood that I just mentioned. They brought in some base building mechanics, and well, not base building, but you could build up a gang and you could make them come in and help you assassinate certain targets, but it still had the overall feel of the kind of first game, you know, that the essence of it was still there. You had your targets you needed to take out, and the combat, although a lot of people complained about the combat of Assassin's Creed, I thought it was great. More like Batman Arkham Knight, or Batman the Arkham series kind of combat, if you want to compare it to something, whereas nowadays it's went more like trying to be Dark Souls or The Witcher, or dare I say, trying to even rip some mechanics off of like God of War or something, and it just, to me, fails miserably. But back then, to me, they had decent combat that you couldn't beat just walking into a room or a fort, getting spotted and having to fight your way out and actually standing a chance against 10 guys. I mean, you could probably, by the end game and even quite near it, you could just spam your counter button, I suppose, and a lot of people didn't like that, but you did have your enemies with the shields and ones with different weapons that gave you a good bit of variety, I thought. Anyway, so then they moved on after Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It was Revelations, which was basically a greatest hits of the Ezio kind of franchise, you know. And then they went on to Assassin's Creed 3. Now, this is where, to me, they kind of lost their way a wee bit. The story, nobody really cared about the Animus stuff in the beginning, but at least when Desmond was there was a kind of a straw through, you know. He was through every game. The plot line was building, even though it was confusing as all fuck. There was something there. By the end of that one, spoiler alert, when Desmond dies, I was none the wiser of what had happened, really. You know, it was very fucking confusing and underwhelming. And overall, as a whole, that game was not well received. The new character, not many people liked him, and you can't blame him. He had a personality that was as peeling as wet cardboard. It was really, really bad. Even although they did try new mechanics, the world was a bit better in that, and you did have a slight little bit of the ship stuff coming in. It still wasn't fucking great in anybody's eye, but I think it was one of the highest selling ones in the whole franchise. So then we come to Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now that was another one that brought in a whole new raft of mechanics. So not only did you have all your general Assassin's Creed stuff, you know, you're taking over towers, unlocking towers, sorry, taking over bases, all the rest of that. You now had a whole new game basically of ship, being a pirate. It was brilliant, and the whole Assassin's Creed kind of storyline, while still present, was kind of pushed to the background, and you could live the life of a pirate. Now that was definitely, that and Assassin's Creed 2 were my favourite Assassin's Creeds, hands down. I mean, who would forget the sea shanties as you're barreling along? Those things were great. A lot better than the ones in Odyssey, may I say. But maybe that's just personal preference. But yeah, they had the combat there that was pretty similar to the other games. And overall, it was a brilliant game. It benefited as well coming out on the new consoles, so the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So it did come out, as I say, right at the end of the lifespan of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, but you could buy the upgraded version, which I'm sure we all did, and I had a great time with that game. Probably the last time I've had a great time with an Assassin's Creed game, because after that they decided to go, and probably because it's Ubisoft, they wanted to go to France. France, vive la France! But do you remember Assassin's Creed Unity? Now, when I played that game first, it was a fucking steaming pile of buggy mess. No one will forget the videos going about of the characters with no face. It was just eyeballs and stuff sitting there, really creepy looking. But that was nothing. That was just a glitch. It was really, really unplayable at points. The combat was terrible. They tried to refine the combat in it, and they just made an utter mess of it. And it wasn't until much later when they actually patched it. It was a huge patch, one of many actually, but I completed it, traded the bloody thing in, and the day later they released a patch which supposedly fixed a lot of it. But I mean, we were getting fatigued with the franchise at that time anyway, and when it looked back, you know, they took away the best bit of the last one, the ships. We didn't know, but they drew us in with the co-op, which was not great anyway, especially because of all the bugs and stuff. I remember the frame rate in that game when it first hit was really, really choppy. Yeah, so less said about that the better. And it was after that, was it after that? No, straight after that they had another one. Now this was Assassin's Creed Syndicate that decided to go to London. Now I'm biased here, okay? I'm a Scotsman. There's something about that London fucking gangster fucking accent shit. I cannot stand it, man. It does my fucking nutting. Take your fucking Oliver Twist to fuck, mate, right? So I already wasn't into this setting. London, fucking Great Britain, pish. I knew exactly what was coming, okay? And it wasn't for me. But I eventually did buy the fucking game. I played it for about 3 hours. Hated it, absolutely hated it. And not just because it was in London, okay? I could see by that, I'm not that bad. But they had now two main playable characters. One, the guy who was more like your heavy. He was good combat, he would go in and kick ass. And then if you wanted to play stealthy, you were to go this woman, right? The chick. So it was like, no, I want to be both. I want to be stealthy, and then if I fucking get caught, I can still kick ass and stuff. And it rubbed me the wrong way completely. I didn't get that. Was the only one of the main franchise installments that I never completed. And by the way, through all this time, we've had plenty of portable versions. You've had iOS and Android versions of all different games come out in the Assassin's Creed franchise. So it wasn't just the main entries. There was plenty of other ones that were happening. Then they decided after the train wreck that was Unity, and a very bad reception to Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Did not sell very well. I think it was one of the lowest selling in the franchise, if not the lowest selling in the franchise. I'll need to double check that. But they decided to give us a year off. Thank you, Ubisoft. So from 2007 all the way to 2015 they had a main installment of the series. So even though they were taking a year off, they still had the Assassin's Creed Chronicles, if any of you've seen them, where they went round India, Russia, and I think they did China or something like that as well. So they still did release these wee games, right enough, they were 2D side-scrolling kind of things, and apparently even they weren't very good. So moving on to 2017, and the biggest shake-up the franchise has had since basically from 1 to 2, and that's Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, I played the entirety of Origins, and it was a kind of love-hate relationship I had with the game. But this is where a lot of, you can say, maybe modern gaming's creeping into it, or just Ubisoft are out of ideas. Because this game, while massive, brilliant setting, it really was underwhelming and quite a slog to play. Now by this point, we're talking 2017, Ubisoft had done quite an interesting thing. Now they decided to bleed gameplay elements from different franchises into one another. Assassin's Creed and Far Cry being two of the main culprits. So Far Cry took the tower system from Assassin's Creed. Fucking towers, man, get to fuck. I don't need to go up a tower to unlock the fucking map, man. Find me something new way of doing it, please to fuck. Actually, side note, in the latest Far Cry there, you climb up a tower and the wee guy says to you, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to have you running all over the place climbing towers, so we'll see if they did change that. I'm still in the middle of playing that at the moment. But yeah, so Assassin's Creed Origins, they changed up the combat. They tried to go more, as I say, Dark Souls. You weren't this OP master anymore. They brought in the leveling system. They brought in an armor system. They also brought in their Helix currency, right? And this is my biggest gripe of the Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, the modern versions of these. Now, we'll talk a bit more about it in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but basically all the things that are present that were present that. You could pay to get XP boosts, pay to get, they brought in, as I say, bleeding mechanics. They brought in the crafting systems basically from Far Cry into Assassin's Creed. They brought a lot of crafting in. And well, you can say what you want. There's only so many times you want to go and collect things to craft, right? It really does start griping on you and getting annoying. Assassin's Creed Origins do this in a way where, and Odyssey, where they sell you these things as time savers. Time savers. Here, just in case you don't want to play your game anymore, here's a fucking, pay us some more money and we'll let you skip that whole fucking 10 hours grind you would need to do to get that item that you want, or to level up enough to play the actual next story mission. Another fucking hatred thing that they've brought in to the new Assassin's Creed. Now, they've made these worlds absolutely massive now. Absolutely massive. Where they think more is better. I think if you look at one of these maps and then put on all the icons, it's an absolute fucking fuckfest. I remember the first time I zoomed out of the Origins map and I just thought, my God, I'm never going to get through all of this. I've just not got the time for all of this. And then, as I say, you'll get to level 10 character, okay? You'll do a quest mission, just getting into the story, you've rolled on a couple. Then it's like, boom, no, next quest mission, you need to be level 12. Well, what do you mean? So now I've got to go and play all these wee stupid side missions, which they seem slightly better in Odyssey. In Origins, they were fucking gash. Every single side mission I did in Origins practically was crap. I remember one about 3 brothers that were fighting, and that's about the only one that stuck in my mind, and that wasn't even that great. Okay, so they forced you into doing these things. And they add that into the new combat. Now, the old games, you can say what they want, they're easy or whatever. The moves looked spectacular, and you made your character feel like a true badass. Assassin's Creed Origins is where you started feeling like, oh wait, whoa, I'm an old man here, I've got to check my thing, oh, hit him twice. The combos were fucking terrible. Light attack, heavy attack, and then one special move thing that you could do. Oh, don't worry, we'll give you a bow, that'll make up for shit. No, it does not. The new one, right, although I would say Odyssey is a big improvement on Origins, combat wise, it's still not great. It's far from fucking satisfying, I would say, and it's more of a slog. Again, I think you've got about 3 different combos, and it's not based on your combos anyway. It's based on what weapon type you've got. But there only is like 5 or 6, maybe. Right, I'll give them 7 weapon types. So you've got 2 combos in each one, 2 or 3. It's really, really repetitive, really, really quick. And although the weapons look all different, like every staff is going to perform the same as any other staff. Like a scythe, it's the same as your staff. So that really annoyed me, especially in Origins as well. It's just a crap system. Now, in Odyssey, they've tried to update that and give you a bit more special moves. So you've got the Spartan kick, which is just fucking... They've brought it more out of the realistic stuff that they try to stick with in Origins. So you can kick cunts clean off the mountain. You can actually fling a spear at a guy and then teleport to him. Fling a spear at another dude, you know, chain your attacks. And that reminded me much of Shadow of Mordor. That was basically a move stolen straight out of that. You could fling your wraith at a guy and then teleport to him. But when you look at the combat in the 2 games, in the Shadow of Mordor, say what you want about that, it had its interesting systems and it did also have its bad points, but the combat is 10 times better than anything that the last 2 Assassin's Creed games have been able to do. Now please Ubisoft, can we just go back to a Batman Arkham Knight thing? Stop trying to be Dark Souls. You're nowhere fucking near it, mate. Okay, you're not even that type of game. I mean, even The Witcher's combat is fucking hugely better, and that's an ancient game now. If you want to do something, copy that and refine it. Make a bit more spectacular moves like you used to. There still is the assassinations and that, and they just don't feel good anymore. They just don't. I don't care what anybody says. That's what I feel. And at the end of the day, everything is all based on opinion, but I mean, maybe this is to get a lot of people in. I just don't think you're satisfying them to hear. So people are saying the combat in the old ones were too easy. Make it harder. Well, okay, you've made it slightly harder. Yeah, you've made it more monotonous and tough. Is that actually more difficult? Because I used to love going in, and it was still a challenge when you had all the dudes with different shields and weapons and everything, countering them all, getting out there, whatever. It was still good. Now it's like, man, you get a guy that's 1 level above you, and you're going to fucking struggle taking this dude on if there's any more than like 2 or 3 of them. It just doesn't make you feel like the badass assassin you're supposed to be, especially not until later in the game. Early game, Origins and Odyssey both suffer for this. Early game, it's terrible. Now, that brings me to the biggest gripe I have with Assassin's Creed now, and that is all this loot box paying for shit. I've mentioned it earlier. You basically you pay them not to play the fucking game. It's ludicrous. Plus they lock all the best kind of looking stuff behind these pay barriers, and if you look at how much it would cost you, so say I just buy 1,000 of these fucking points, Helix points, right? It's £8, and that'll get me 1 expansion out of about fucking 12 that they've got sitting there the new, and that isn't gameplay expansions. These are all cosmetic things, right? If I want to buy my way out of fucking grinding, then I've got to buy XP boosts, I've got to buy crafting packages. Get to fuck. We don't need this shit in our games, and the worst it is, there's fuckers buying it. That's why they're fucking keeping these things in. I can't be dealing with it anymore. The instant I come into a game, right, and you're shoving the marketplace in my face, right, which you basically do in the game straight away, you hit that, then you go in and see these armour sets that you are not able to earn in the game. The only way you can get them is by paying more. I've just gave you 50 quid for the game, mate, and you're telling me I need to pay you extra now to dress up like I want to dress up in the game. Bring back the day when they never had DLC. You know what I mean? When all you would get is a fucking expansion pack for your old PC games, and they would charge you accordingly. Nah, today's games, full price games with loot box shit, I'm not having it. And that brings me to my other point. Reviews of this game have been fucking crazy in my opinion. Just have a wee look at this screenshot and tell me if you think this is an accurate depiction of Assassin's Creed Odyssey to you. The way you would look about this is if it's one of the best games that's been out ever. So Games Radar, 10 out of 10. MMOPRG, 9.6 out of 10. PlayStation Lifestyle, 9.5 out of 10. There's all sorts. Destructoid, 9 out of 10. Then we go to the biggest fuckers of them all, IGN. The best the series has ever been, 9.2 out of 10. Is it? Is it? Fuck, mate. Is it? Fuck. Now, it might be a huge world, and I used to love it. I was brought up with like Clash of the Titans and Jason and the Argonauts and all that, so I'm well into this setting. This should be the Assassin's Creed for me. But the fact of all this loot box pish, the fact that your combat's still fucked up, and what's with the fucking horse, by the way? What's with jumping about in that horse? Your guy looks like a fucking Mongo. Mate, he looks like you've got a wee guy standing there moving about with a toy horse with his arm. After playing stuff like Red Dead, you really need to tighten that up. I mean, you know how big your map is, how long you're going to be on this fucking horse. You could at least make it so he didn't look like a fucking bouncing up and down fucking gimp every time he jumps on his fucking horse, mate. Plus the horse mechanics are shit, right? Shit. That's me had my horse rant. And you're not telling me that game deserves a fucking 9 or a 10 out of 10. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I've got your fucking hands in their pockets. Ubisoft's paying you fuckers to give them these reviews. Because if not, then yous are just talking shit. And basically, most people know by now these major journalist places, they do talk shit. They do get paid. They do get perks. It's all fucking hush-hush under the board. Well, I'm here to tell you, Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, you fucking nay-hope. Even I automatically minus 2 points for your fucking loot box pay-to fucking play pish, okay? So there's no way you're getting a 6 for me, even. Probably, maybe at a push, if I like the end of Odyssey, I'll give you a 7 out of 10, but there's no way they deserve the reviews they're getting. So, speak with your fucking wallets. I certainly will be. It'll be the last Assassin's Creed I'll be getting ever, and I'll tell you that now. They'll need to do something like mental. I've always wanted them to go to Japan, feudal Japan, but that's happening now. We're getting games like that. We're getting Sakura Shadows Die Twice, we're getting Ghost of Tsushima. So we really don't need you anymore, Assassin's Creed. You don't know what you are anymore. You've tried to be something you're not. You've tried to take elements for all these other different games and build upon yours. Go back to what you were good at. Make the assassin, make the story, concentrate it. I'll give Odyssey as a better story than it's been in the series for a long time, but still you could do a lot better. You could do a lot better. One thing they did do that I like, a lot of people are kind of thinking about this, is having the 2 protagonists you can pick for. Now that adds a bit of variety at least, and is maybe interesting to some people. They'd rather do one or the other, and it's not your typical macho man blah blah blah. Cool, all very good, but honestly you need to sort something out, because you're running through the map and it's basically, you could be in Origins in some of the places that you're in Odyssey. I'm just hoping, and I think it is going to be this way, they expanded the fact that they've tried to black flag this one up as well. They've added in the ship mechanics is going to save it. But where do you think Assassin's Creed are going to go next? Are they going to take another year off? Should they do another completely total fucking reboot of the shit? What do you think about the combat in the games? Are you the same as me? Would you like to see it return to a mere Batman Arkham Knight style? Or do you think they should continue down the road of trying to imitate games like Dark Souls? I mean, look at God of War's combat last year. Now, I'm not saying you can do as good as that, but you can certainly come close to it. You're a AAA studio. You look at the people and the resources these guys have got, they can certainly make a better game than what they're gaming. So that's me. That's my fucking Assassin's Creed franchise review. I've went on a lot longer than I planned to, but it doesn't matter. Please consider subscribing. I've been Baltic. Let me know what you think about all this Assassin's Creed nonsense down below. Where are they going to go next? Until then, I'll catch you later.